Fashion Industry Broadcast and Style Planet TV are proud to bring you their new Netflix original series, The Girl's Guides to the World of Designer Fashion. This new 6-part series explores the seductive world of designer fashion. Series 1, The History of Lingerie. Series 2, The Legend of the Designer Bag. Series 3, The Mystery of the High Heel. Series 4, American Fashion. Series 5, Italian Fashion. And Series 6, Paris Fashion.
History of men's underwear.
Shouts goes out to my man Calvin Klein, good looking out for the drawers. Not saying I would do another Fruit of the Loom commercial or nothing like that, because they don't make the hype shorts. These are the 90s, man. They just fit good and they hold me snug. So.
Call them jocks, drawers, undies, skivvies, slips, briefs or boxers, or a combination thereof. Men's underwear has had an illustrious history and auspicious beginning. Wikipedia links underwear and undergarments, defining them as clothes worn under other clothes, often next to the skin. They keep outer garments from being soiled, shape the body, and provide support for parts of it. In cold weather, long underwear sometimes is worn to provide additional warmth. Semantics aside, underwear is a staple in our male wardrobe. In the beginning, there was the fig leaf. In ancient Greek art, male nakedness, including the genitals, was common. This tradition continued in ancient Roman art until the conversion of the Roman Empire to Christianity, when heroic nudity vanished. During the Middle Ages, only the unfortunate, most often the damned, were usually shown naked, although the depictions were then often rather explicit. Adam and Eve were often shown wearing fig or other leaves. This was especially a feature of Northern Renaissance art. From about 1530, the developing reaction to Renaissance freedoms and excesses that led to the Council of Trent also led to a number of artworks, especially in churches or public places, being altered to reduce the amount of nudity on display. Often, as in the famous case of Michelangelo's The Last Judgment, drapery or extra branches from any nearby bush was used. For freestanding statues, this did not work well, and carved or cast fig leaves were sometimes added, such as with the plaster copy of Michelangelo's David, displayed in Victorian-era London. So in reality, the fig leaf may not really have been the original male undergarment.
I give you the David.
Loincloths all the rage. The first known underwear dates back almost 7,000 years, when prehistoric man used leather to cover and protect his loins while running prehistoric errands. For several millennia, not much changed. Ancient Egyptian art shows everyone from the pharaohs on down the line decked out in loincloths of their own. The pharaohs even wore a sort of specialized kilt loincloth called a shendo, and took extra supplies of the garment into their pyramids for use in the afterlife. Enter the codpiece. Variations on the loincloth seem to have persisted into the Middle Ages, when loose-fitting trousers called brays came into fashion. These linen duds extended from the waist to around mid-calf, and once the wearer stepped into his breeches, he had to lace them tight around his waist and shins. Although all of the tying wasn't so convenient, these brays had the advantage of offering a lot of coverage. So if a labourer got too hot, he could strip down to his skivvies while still maintaining some sense of decorum. A codpiece that opened at the front using buttons, snaps, or laces enabled men to urinate without removing their brays, which really came in handy when you'd had a bit too much mead. These early codpieces were practical, but as hemlines rose, they started to take on a decorative function too. When Henry VIII began to pad his codpiece in the 16th century, all of his loyal subjects followed suit.
I know in the room that I don't need a big codpiece because what's underneath is Godzilla. It's just fascinating. Their mentality.
Yes.
And they're intelligent people, and they want to dress well.
Yeah.
And then they can't sort of spoil it with that, I suppose. And there's no need for it, but, you know.
Never mind that scholars later speculated that Henry VIII's bulging codpiece may not have actually been male overcompensation. Boxers or briefs. This state of affairs doesn't sound too comfy, but things got a little more breathing room in 1925. Jacob Gollum, founder of the venerable boxing equipment company Everlast, started to tweak designs for the trunks worn by pugilists. Gollum realized that the leather-belted trunks fighters had been wearing weren't totally ideal, so he replaced the leather with more flexible, elastic waistbands. Boxer shorts weren't an immediate success as underwear though. They lacked the support that drawers and union suits had offered, so men weren't crazy about them. A postcard from France. Underwear drawers changed forever in 1935 when Arthur Knebler, an executive and designer at the Wisconsin hosiery company Cooper's Inc., received a postcard from a friend who was visiting the French Riviera. The postcard depicted a man in a bikini-style bathing suit, and apparel engineer Knebler had an epiphany. Couldn't this type of swimsuit be converted into underwear? After some experimentation, Knebler introduced a new kind of snug, legless underwear with an overlapping Y-front fly. Coopers dubbed the new product Jockey shorts because the high level of support the garment offered was reminiscent of jock straps. Coopers took its first batch of Jockey briefs to Chicago's landmark department store, Marshall Field's, on January 19, 1935. Although the weather was awful, Chicago was in the grip of a blizzard, the entire load of 600 pairs of Jockeys sold out on the first day. Within 3 months, the company sold 30,000 pairs of Jockey shorts. Coopers kept making and marketing its wildly successful underwear, and in 1971, the company changed its name to Jockey. Secret Service and boxers. Designer underwear became all the rage in the 1970s and 80s as labels like Calvin Klein began to transform our drawers from something we hid under our pants into the sort of fashion and lifestyle choice one could flaunt in a bad music video. Cuts became tighter and sexier, and underwear designs became flashy, loud, and often humorous. One of the main beneficiaries of this new obsession with snappy underwear was Joe Boxer, which started making skivvies in 1984 when it filled an order from Macy's that included a design with a Velcro-attached removable raccoon tail. Joe Boxer really jumped into the spotlight in 1985 though, when it made boxers printed with the image of $100 bills. The Secret Service decided that these duds violated forgery laws and confiscated 1,000 pairs of the offending underwear. Instead of simply hiring lawyers, Joe Boxer turned the seizure into a lighthearted news event, and the image of boxers as a playful alternative to stolid briefs grew. The male underwear market explodes. Today, the underwear market is a multi-billion-dollar industry, offering men a variety of styles and options, and sold online and by specialty retailers and large department stores. Men now have a staggering choice of practical and fashionable styles of undergarment brands and styles to choose from.